Hi everyone and welcome. Let me quickly tell you who we are and what this video is. We are Tina Strategia. We help healthcare and drug companies make better decisions. We do this with market research, competitor tracking, expert interviews, and data analysis. We work with drug, biotech, and medical device companies around the world. We have more than 15 years of experience, a network of over 500 doctors and experts, and we work with 50-plus disease area specialists. This video is one part of a series. In this series, we teach how drug forecasting works. It is made for people who do this at work, analysts, consultants, and anyone who builds or checks forecasts. Our goal is to help you get better at it. In this video, we will show how a drug forecast is built. We start with a group of patients and end with a sales number in dollars. Let's begin. This video has one job. We want you to clearly understand how drug forecasting works. By the end, you will be able to explain how we go from a group of sick people all the way to a sales number for one drug. Look at the bottom of this slide. That is our path. First, we size the market. Then we look at the disease numbers. Then we work out our share of patients. Then we add how fast the drug catches on. And last, we turn it all into money using price. Keep one picture in your mind the whole time, the funnel on the right. Forecasting just means taking a big group of people, shrinking it down to the patients who get treated, and then adding our share in the price. Let's start. Before the how, let's talk about why we even do this. A forecast helps people make big money decisions. Investors use it to value a company. Deal teams use it to price a deal. Inside a company, it helps decide what to keep working on, what to buy, and what to stop. It shapes launch plans and future versions of a drug. It even helps plan how much to make. Here is the most important idea, and it is a great line to say out loud. Forecasting is part art and part science. That does not mean you guess. It means there is rarely one perfect answer. Your data will have gaps. Your job is to be sensible and to explain your thinking. One line to remember, a drug worth $80 million in an $8 billion market is small. Keep things in perspective. And remember, people care more about your reasons than about the exact final number. Here is the map for the whole video. Every forecast is built in 4 steps. Step 1, size the market. You learn about the disease and count the patients you could treat. This is where the disease numbers come in. Step 2, build the model. You pick how to build it. You also decide how to split patients into groups. Step 3, share and money. You decide your share of patients, how fast the drug grows, the price, and how well patients stay on it. Then you turn patients into sales. Step 4, read the results. Numbers only matter if they teach you something, so you test different cases and explain the story behind them. Easy way to remember it. Steps 1 and 2 answer, how many patients? Steps 3 and 4 answer, how much money and why? When someone asks you a question, put it in one of these 4 boxes. It keeps your answer clear. If you remember one slide, make it this one. Most forecasting comes down to 2 ways, top-down and bottom-up. Top-down starts from money. You take a drug's total sales. You take the slice that belongs to your disease. Then you push those sales forward over time, adding growth and the drop when generics arrive. It is fast and it matches real reported sales. But it needs past data, it is not tied to the disease, and it treats events broadly. So it is best for older, steady markets, short-term views, or when you are low on data or time. Bottom-up starts from people. You start with the whole population, then how many have the disease, how many are diagnosed, how many are treated, and how many get a drug. Then your share of them. Then you multiply by price. It is detailed and more believable. The downside, it takes more time, it leans on doctors' estimates, and you can overbuild it. The smart answer, these 2 are not rivals. Neither one is complete on its own. You move between them and use each to check the other. The checking has a name worth saying out loud, data triangulation. This is the formula to memorize. At its heart, sales equals volume times price. Open it up and it becomes yearly sales equals your patient share, times the pool of treated patients, times treatment days, times how well patients stay on the drug, times the price per treatment day. Think of it as 3 parts. Volume is how many patients. That is your share of the treated pool. Intensity is how much each patient uses. That is treatment days and staying on the drug. Staying on the drug is compliance times persistence. For example, 60% times 50% gives 30%. And price is the value per unit, the net price and what insurance actually pays. Quick example, drug A takes 50% of a pool of about 200,000 treated patients. That is 100,000 patients. The drug costs $50,000 a year, and patients stay on it 30% of the time. Multiply it all and you get about $1.5 billion a year. Every forecast is just this formula, done again for each drug, each group, and each year. Step 1 is sizing the market, and it runs on disease numbers. Two words you must not mix up, prevalence and incidence. Prevalence answers, who has the disease right now? It is every case at one point in time. Use it for long-lasting, steady diseases like high blood pressure or hepatitis B. Incidence answers, who is newly getting the disease? It is new cases over a period. Use it for sudden events like heart attacks or new cancer cases. They are connected. Prevalence is roughly incidence times how long the disease lasts. But use that carefully. It assumes the population stays steady. People often test if you can work out rates, 3 to know. Crude rate is cases divided by the whole population. For example, 612,000 cases in 99 million women is 0.62%. A specific rate looks at one group, like 0.4% in ages 20 to 59. An adjusted rate blends groups by their size to get one fair number, here about 0.3%. If you can walk through this calmly, you sound like you know your stuff. This is the most important picture in bottom-up forecasting, the patient funnel. Read it top to bottom. Start with the whole population from census data. Multiply by the disease rate to get everyone with the disease, then multiply by the percent with symptoms, then the percent correctly diagnosed, then the percent who actually get a drug. Each step is a percentage of the step above. The bottom of the funnel is your pool of treated patients. Then, see the amber box, you add patient share. That is your product slice of that treated pool. I am flagging it early because it is the least certain number in the whole model. We will spend 3 slides on it. One last point, the steps in the funnel change with the disease. A cancer model and a blood pressure model do not use the same steps. There is no one-size-fits-all. You build the funnel that fits the disease. Once you have your funnel, you pick how to build it. 2 choices. Patient-based is a snapshot. You count everyone with the disease at one point in time and sort them into groups. It is simple, clear, and easy to do in a spreadsheet. Use it when treatment and patient numbers are steady. Examples: high blood pressure, hepatitis B, rheumatoid arthritis. Patient flow is more like a movie than a photo. It follows patients as they move over time. They start a drug, get better or worse, and switch to the next option. Use it when treatment is changing or patients move through steps of care. Examples: a wet eye disease called AMD, cancer by line of treatment, and transplant care. Rule of thumb: steady market, use patient-based because it is simpler. Patients moving through steps of care, use patient flow because it captures the movement. One nuance that scores points: flow models can overcount later steps, so use them carefully. Still building the model, splitting patients into groups. You can split by age, gender, disease type, line of treatment, doctor type, or drug class. The skill is not splitting, it is knowing when to stop. A good group passes 3 tests. First, a reasonable number of groups. There is a real story where someone tried to make 144 groups in a market of only 13,000 patients. The groups got too small to matter. Second, meaningful. It matches how doctors actually prescribe. Third, useful. Sales and marketing can act on it. If a split fails, these tests don't make it. Take the rheumatoid arthritis example. We go from 2.5 million patients with the disease to 1.5 million diagnosed to about 1.1 million treated. The key split is moderate to severe, about 500,000 patients because the biologic drugs are only used there. That split earns its place. The lesson, split only where treatment really changes and no further. Now, step 3, share in money. And the star of the show, patient share. It is the least certain number in any forecast, so people ask about it a lot. The trick is to tell it as a 3-part story over time. The curve goes up, flattens, then comes down. Part 1, peak share. The highest share your product can reach. You get it by comparing your product to competitors and adjusting for other factors. Part 2, uptake. How fast you reach that peak. You need a launch date, a time to peak, and the shape of the growth curve. Part 3, decline. The slow drop as new competitors arrive and later generics show up. And when someone asks why share is so hard to pin down, have your list ready. It depends on price, competition, who launched first, how doctors and insurers see it, marketing, insurance status, and dosing, and all of these change over time. That is why we treat share as a story, not one number. So how do we actually pick that peak share number? There is a ladder of methods, trading speed for care. At the easy end is inside knowledge, what your marketers and doctors already believe. Quick and cheap, but the reasoning can be fuzzy and unwritten. In the middle is market research. You ask doctors directly with surveys or scoring. Now your reasons are written down, though you should trust what doctors do more than what they say. At the top end is conjoint or trade-off analysis, a method that models real choices and lets you test options. It costs the most time and money. 2 helpful tools. Attribute scoring rates each product on things like how well it works, safety, dosing, and who launched first, then turns those scores into shares. And the order of entry effect. The first drug in usually gets more share, so being first is a strong default. But it is only a default. Lipitor launched 5th in its class and still became number 1 because it worked better and was marketed well. Being first helps, it does not decide. Once you know the peak, part 2 is uptake, how fast you get there and the shape of the climb. 2 levers, time to peak, called Tmax, and the shape of the curve, fast, medium, or slow. Most launches follow a medium, S-shaped curve, with about 6 years to peak as a handy benchmark. Where does the shape come from? The main tool is analogues. You find past drug launches that look like yours and reuse their pattern. You match on things like drug class, who launched first, type, cost, how it is taken, dosing, insurance, marketing, and market type. One key caution people love to test: use analogues for the timing and the shape, but not to set the peak share itself. When you have no good match, use standard growth curves. Rogers' theory splits users into innovators, early adopters, the early and late majority, and laggards. The base model from 1969 explains growth as a mix of outside influence and word of mouth in a market of a set size. Both make that S shape: slow start, fast middle, then it levels off. Part 3 of the share story is the drop, and the biggest cause is loss of exclusivity, the patent cliff. When the patent ends, generic copies come in and compete only on price. Pills drop fast, often within a month. Injections take longer. A rough rule is losing about a quarter of the volume, but it depends on the market. 2 smaller effects. First, the ripple effect. The first generic in a class hurts even the drug still on patent. When Zocor went generic in 2006, Lipitor's volume fell about 3% that year and 11% the next. Second, self-competition. A company's own new version replaces its old one, like Nexium taking share from Prilosec. Companies fight back. They make new versions like extended release or combinations, get 6 extra months by testing in children, launch a next-generation drug and switch patients, like Lexapro replacing Celexa, or go over the counter. You build these into the model to soften the drop. One nuance that shows you know the market: the generic drop is not the same everywhere. In Japan, it is gentler and slower because the price gap is smaller and patients are wary of generics. Never use one global number, always match it to the market. We have built the patient pool and set share over time. The last step is turning patients into dollars, and that depends on getting price right. First, know the price ladder. The list price, before anything comes off, is the sticker price. Take off rebates and discounts, and you get the net price, which is what the company really earns. Our models usually use the list price, so the dollars look bigger than what is really earned. In the US, rebates can be as high as 50 to 60%. Then turn patients into dollars with four things: treatment days per year, staying on the drug, 60 times 50 gives 30%, net price per treatment day, and the fact that one patient can use more than one drug, 100 patients. At 1.2 drugs each is 120 drug uses. Put it together for one group. A pool of 200,000 treated patients at 50% share is 100,000 patients. At $50,000 a year and 30% staying on it, you get about $1.5 billion. And the golden check, for one drug, all its uses added together must never be more than the company's total reported sales. If it is, something earlier is wrong. Let's bring it all together. On the left is your cheat sheet. If you can write these 6 lines from memory, you have the basics. The main formula: sales equals share, times pool, times treatment days, times staying on the drug, times price per day. The funnel: population times disease rate, times symptoms, times diagnosed, times treated, gives your treated pool. Top down and bottom up checked against each other. Prevalence is roughly incidence times how long the disease lasts. The share story: peak, then uptake using analogues, then the drop from generics. And staying on the drug equals compliance times persistence. On the right are the golden rules to say out loud because they make you sound experienced. Your reasons matter more than the exact numbers. Forecasting is art plus science. Being sensible beats being exactly wrong. Everything is a range, so give a middle case, a high case, and a low case. Check bottom up against top down. Match the drop, the uptake, and the share to the market. And know your weak spots. It is fine to point out a shaky guess, as long as you can explain your thinking. So here is the send-off. Be able to draw the funnel and say the main formula, explain the thinking behind each step, and you will stand out. Good luck.